Strengthening review habits. Most of this is pretty self-evident to all of us, but it's probably worth reminding your students. There are certain ways by which you hold on to information better. Studying during the day, right? How often are our students studying, in our high school in particular, between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., the night before a test, right? What does that do in terms of their competitive capacity to do well on your test? Not that much, okay? They're cramming. It's late at night. We all know research tells us we learn better when there's sunlight, right?
Rabbi Hoffman, you're going to be Yoshua.
Am I going to be a what?
Yoshua.
Am I going to be? Holding it up there? Maybe. I'm thinking about it. Thank you for asking. Okay? Right? Highlighting key information. Many students do this well on their own, but some need to be trained. Creating flashcards for vocabulary or relationship between individual and date or individual and location, or it's sort of like your chart, but in a different type of way, right? Thinking about what the teacher might ask, using mnemonics associated with details. So you didn't really see what I did before because I had a rush, but I actually had 12 items here associated with memory and retention, and I created this little line. You actually have it on your paper for number 8. You'll see in parentheses there where it says strategy for increased retention, a car of GMAC Vrooms. I sort of made that up. Sounds a little weird, but it kind of works. GMAC we know is a manufacturer. Here you have at least parts. I don't know if they make cars, but just parts. But here you have a GMAC car, and it vrooms. Now, why do I say that? Because if you look at the various strategies which we didn't have a chance to go through, it actually spells that out. I found a way to manipulate it to make something meaningful out of it. Okay? If you can create a mnemonic, if you can create a song, anything that a student can do where they're going to hold on to the information better, that's ultimately going to be advantageous as they study. Asking students on their own to prepare for essays, right? Have them compare and contrast the leader, let's say for example, Grant and Lee, any two generals, to time periods, to approaches, to whatever it might be. Compare and contrast them. They're already starting to think like you, which is half the battle in many cases. Okay? Study partners, specific times for review. The more you can do, the better. You know, I will tell you, in my present capacity of, I just want to see an accurate time of 1 minute. In my present capacity in coaching work, I do a lot of driving. And while I'm in the car, I network and this and that and try to reach out to various people. I will often remember conversations or people I need to call back based on where I am on the road. So if I'm approaching the Goethals Bridge, for example, I'll remember 2 weeks ago I called so-and-so, he asked me to call him back, I remember to call him back. Otherwise I don't, because the situation triggers the memory. That's often why your students will often look up at you, right in the middle of a test, and look back down. They're not asking you anything, but just the very presence of you, where you are in the class. They'll look up at your empty board, and they'll sort of pull out information that way.